Anime of the Year awards are often driven as much by momentum as merit, and in 2024, Solo Leveling swept the top honor with fanfare, energy, and plenty of action-packed flash. Its victory was not exactly unexpected because it was the buzziest show of the year, riding the hype train of a beloved webtoon and an avalanche of fan support. But beneath all the applause, a quieter, more masterful series stood in its shadow in Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. While Solo Leveling was good, Frieren was transcendent. And that is the problem. These awards, determined largely by votes and popularity, sometimes crown the loudest voice rather than the strongest contender. Solo Leveling dominated conversations, especially as fans eagerly anticipated its second season, which many voters erroneously factored into their decision-making. But the Anime of the Year title was meant for works released in 2024, which was Solo Leveling's first season only. On that criterion alone, it falters. Meanwhile, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, delivered an exquisite, complete experience in every episode. It did not just entertain, it moved people. And that should have made it the true champion. There is no denying that Solo Leveling turned heads with its explosive visuals and fast-paced battles. It was, without question, one of the most talked-about anime of 2024. Adapted from a hugely popular manhwa, the anime brought Sung Jinwoo's ascension to godhood to life with slick direction and blockbuster-style fight choreography. For many fans, the power fantasy and stylish animation were enough to earn their vote. But that is exactly where the issue lies, because it was all surface-level appeal. What many overlooked was that Solo Leveling's first season was essentially an extended prologue. While visually stunning, it lacked the emotional and narrative depth to stand on its own. Character development was minimal, stakes were thin, and the story had not yet evolved into the high-stakes epic fans of the webtoon knew. The real meat of Solo Leveling lies in its later arcs with the Monarchs, and even a little bit in Season 2, which did not air in 2024 and therefore should not have influenced its Anime of the Year candidacy. If voters had judged Solo Leveling solely on its 2024 content, its victory would look far less secure. The narrative pacing was uneven, and much of the season was spent on repetitive dungeon crawls with little introspection. Compared to other contenders that offered complete, emotional arcs, Solo Leveling felt like a flashy appetizer rather than a full-course meal. The hype was earned, but the accolade was not. On the other hand, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End was an absolute triumph in storytelling, execution, and emotional resonance. It told a complete and deeply moving story, one that transcended the fantasy genre with its contemplative tone and subtle character work. Where Solo Leveling was all adrenaline, Frieren was poetry in motion that was quiet, graceful, and profound. It did not need high-octane battles to leave an impression. Its strength came from its humanism and emotional maturity. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End follows the elf mage Frieren after the defeat of the Demon King, as she sets out to understand the humanity of her fallen comrades and of herself. That simple premise allowed for profound exploration of grief, memory, and time. Each episode was carefully constructed to draw viewers into the world's rich emotional landscape, giving space for reflection rather than spectacle. And in doing so, Frieren managed to touch hearts in a way few fantasy anime ever have. Not only did it succeed narratively, but it also excelled technically. The animation by Madhouse was nothing short of spectacular. Every landscape was lovingly drawn, every magical battle beautifully rendered with subtlety and finesse. The soundtrack was poignant and atmospheric. The voice performances were nuanced and powerful. Altogether, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End was a cohesive emotional experience, and the kind of anime that lingers with viewers long after the credits roll. It was not just good, it was art. Ultimately, the fact that Solo Leveling won Anime of the Year is more a reflection of the system's flaws than the relative quality of the contenders. Fan-voted awards have always been a double-edged sword because they democratize recognition, but they also open the door for popularity to trump excellence. In this case, Solo Leveling rode the wave of its massive pre-existing fan base, many of whom conflated Season 1 with what they knew was coming later.